Welcome to the 10th movie in the 50 Shades of Horror series. I'm your host, Roommate.
Today we'll discuss 1999's The Sixth Sense. Here's where you can find this movie available for streaming. Stay until the end of the video to learn what the 11th movie will be. The Sixth Sense is the most serious movie we've seen so far. It's a drama first and foremost, focusing on the emotional needs of its leads and their struggle to mend their broken homes.
Once upon a time, there was this person named Malcolm. He worked with children. He made a mistake with one of them. He couldn't help that one. Ever since then, things have been different. He's not the same person that he used to be. And his wife doesn't like the person that he's become. They barely speak anymore. They're like strangers.
I am so tired, Cole. I'm tired in my body. I'm tired in my mind. I'm tired in my heart. I need some help. You know, I don't know if you noticed, but our little family isn't doing so good.
If you're not very mad, can I sleep in your bed tonight?
Look at my face. I'm not very mad.
But its overall mood sits in the overlap between drama and horror, despair.
The protagonist of the story is Malcolm Crowe, a child psychologist. He must help a deeply troubled boy, Cole Sear, who is tormented by visions of the dead. Cole is easy to sympathize with as a sweet and innocent child. When the terrifying visions overwhelm Cole, the audience sees the phantoms through his helpless perspective. While scary scenes are sparse, they are suspenseful and haunting, leaving cruel concepts of abuse and hopelessness lingering in your memory. The Sixth Sense is a movie that's notorious for its twist. If you haven't seen it yet, and you've somehow managed not to learn the twist, this is your last chance to watch the movie without knowing. Alright, at the start of the movie, Malcolm and his wife Anna are celebrating an award he recently received for his work in child psychology.
This is an important night for us. Finally, someone is recognizing the sacrifices you've made. That you have put everything second, including me.
Their festivities are cut short when he sees a former patient of his, Vincent, has broken into his home and is suffering from a complete mental breakdown. Malcolm tries to help him.
Let me try. You just give me a chance.
But Vincent shoots Malcolm before turning the gun on himself. The movie then cuts to the next fall, and we see Malcolm looking over his notes while he waits to meet Cole. But this masks the fact that Malcolm's shot was fatal.
I think I'm okay, really. I think it just went in and out. It doesn't even hurt anymore.
The movie hides this truth until the final 10 minutes. Malcolm thinks that he and his wife have been drifting apart, that his work has been creating a rift between them. Only when he opens up to her about how much she means to him.
I needed to tell you something. You were never second. Ever. I love you.
Does he realize that he has been dead for a year?
The movie expertly hides this, making sense whether you know Malcolm is alive or not.
For instance, take Malcolm and Anna's anniversary dinner.
I thought you meant the other Italian restaurant I asked you to marry me. I'm so sorry, Anna. I just can't seem to keep track of time.
When she looks at him, we can hear some noise from across the restaurant.
I know that I've been a little distant. I know that it makes you mad.
So what might appear to be eye contact is merely Anna's attention being grabbed by the noisy restaurant. She even speaks to his memory.
Happy anniversary.
Which he interprets as a direct, sarcastic message. He gets the irony, but thinks it is born from contempt, missing the mournful yearning that Anna intended.
Little touches like this call attention to the subtleties in communication, illustrating how we can draw the incorrect conclusions by not understanding the whole context behind a message. The Sixth Sense is a symbolic movie. That's not to say it lacks a tangible plot. It isn't surreal, strange, or incomprehensible without analysis. It is, however, even more poignant and satisfying when you dig beneath the surface. This isn't merely a story about how some people could see ghosts. It's a story about how different the world is to those who perceive what others do not. If you examine the scene where Cole is reprimanded by his teacher for sharing the truth about the school's history of executions.
Can anyone guess what this building was used for 100 years ago? Yes, Cole.
They used to hang people here.
No, that's not correct.
They'd pull the people in crying and kissing their families by. People watching would spit at them.
Cole, this building was a legal courthouse. Laws were passed here, some of the very first laws of this country. This whole building was full of lawyers.
They were the ones that hanged everybody.
You can see how devastated Cole is by even the slightest sneer.
I don't like people looking at me like that.
For an imagination as vivid as Cole's,
Like what?
the tiniest judgment hidden in someone's expression
Stop it!
can make him question his validity as a human being. Cole protects himself by bringing up his teacher's suppressed insecurities.
You're a stuttering Stanley.
Excuse me?
You talked funny when you went to school here. You shouldn't look at people. It makes them feel bad. Stop looking at me!
Who have you been speaking to?
Stuttering Stanley! Stuttering Stanley!
Shut up, you freak!
This isn't even linked explicitly to any ghosts that Cole sees. Cole's attention to the inner reality of those around him, his inability to tune out the trauma, makes it nearly impossible for him to fit in with his peers and share their carefree lifestyle. It's interesting rewatching the movie, knowing how Cole's reluctance to engage with Malcolm does not stem from a distrust of psychiatry, but rather that Cole can see that Malcolm is just like all the other ghosts that haunt him. He's a walking reminder of the pain that shapes the world, and how even those most affected by it are sometimes incapable of acknowledging that pain.
I see dead people
Dead people like in graves and coffins?
walking around like regular people. They don't see each other. They only see what they want to see. They don't know they're dead.
Malcolm learns to trust Cole, looking deeper into the unthinkable idea that Cole's perception might actually be a facet of reality that most learn to ignore. Cole sees the ghosts of spousal abuse, of neglected children, but perhaps the most disturbing is the ghost of a murdered child. This is the part that scared me the most when I first saw it, because the intense build-up to a dramatic reveal not only of the ghost, but the action of her vomiting. I was expecting a ghost, but I wasn't expecting that, so the combination of shock and grossness made me jump out of my seat. And though her story more or less comes out of nowhere late in the movie, it serves an important purpose. It shows how Cole can use his curse to make the world a little better. He is able to expose the murderer of this innocent girl, bringing closure to a grieving family that would otherwise never understand their cruel reality.
Malcolm and Cole learn that even though these darker elements are kept out of sight, they are never truly gone.
Their influence is felt even by those who refuse to acknowledge them. He brings this lesson closer to home by telling his mother how proud her mother was of her.
Grandma comes to visit me sometimes.
Grandma's gone, you know that.
She wanted me to tell you.
Oh, please
She wanted me to tell you she saw you dance. You thought she didn't come to see you dance. She did. She hid in the back so you wouldn't see. She said you were like an angel. She said you came to the place where they buried her. Asked her a question. She said the answer is every day. What did you ask?
Do I make her proud?
Filling the hole in her heart that she didn't have the time to mend on her own. I think this works as an apt metaphor for how an empathetic person such as Cole could tell a story to someone like his mom to bring her closure, even though it may appear like fiction to the intended audience. He even ends up helping Malcolm by showing him that the pain caused by this distance between his wife and himself can be healed, even if it's through something as mercurial as a whisper in a dream. They show each other how not to run away from their sorrow, but to make peace with it and draw strength from it. I was 14 when I first saw this movie, and it really stuck with me. The scene where Cole sees the hanged convicts in the school gymnasium in particular would cause me to fear turning a corner to be confronted with visions of ghosts. But upon rewatching the movie, I can see that the time that you see these ghosts is so brief, it seems ridiculous that it could have made such a lasting impression on me. But I think that this illustrates what is truly so powerful about horror, our own imaginations. It is not just the image, the sound, or the concepts that give us this reaction. It's the way that our minds fill in the blanks. The film may be the seed, but our mind is the soil, the water, the sun, and the air that breathes life into them.
The most horrific things can't be delivered to us. We have to make them ourselves.
This movie is so radically different from those that have come before. Do you think it deserves this spot on the list? Or do you think it's not as scary as the previous 9?
Let me know in the comments.
This week's recommendation is thankfully for a more lighthearted approach to this movie. It's from Popcorn in Bed. She does reactions to movies and is one of the most relaxed and positive channels I'll recommend. I thought that she'd make an excellent recommendation for this movie because, get this, she actually didn't know the twist. so you get to see an honest reaction to the twist in 2021. I'll leave that for you to watch, but here's a glimpse of her watching Cole get bullied.
Well, this isn't scary yet, which is good. Uh-oh. But now a kid's chasing a balloon into a dark hallway. Maybe I spoke too soon.
Open this door, I'll break through it and grab you!
We're gonna put on a pretend play. It's called Locked in the Dungeon.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. That is so cruel. I would lose my mind.
So check out Popcorn in Bed's The Sixth Sense movie reaction. The link's in the description. If you thought this movie and my review were a bit too bleak this week, luckily next week's is very different. It's 1985's Phenomena, and here's where you can watch it. Subscribe and click the bell to know when that comes out. Tell your friends about this challenge, because Phenomena is an underappreciated gem of so bad it's good movies, so you could definitely make a fun night out of watching that movie. I hope you enjoyed this very different type of video. Please click the like button to let me know if you did. I hope to see you back Saturday for my Phenomena review. It's gonna be wild.
See you then, and thank you so very much for watching.